Yeah, I was forced to learn about money even when I didn't want to while in medical school. My primary intention was to learn about medicine, to learn about taking care of people and saving lives. That was necessarily the primary goal. Of course, it's not maybe a business school where honestly you're supposed to learn about money, but somewhere that I again learned about money the more. So let me just tell you what exactly really forced me to learn about money while in medical school. I'm into a private medical school, okay, a private university where a number of people, despite the public universities where almost everyone like the financial state, can I say people are not so much luxurious. But for private institutions or private universities, most people are really honestly rich. Can I say that? Yeah, a number of people really have significant amounts of money. We even have like international students, right? International students, and a number of them really come when either down sponsorships and are being sponsored by big organizations that pour them lots of money, and some that are completely on private, they come from very well-off families, like wealthy families where everything is just planned out. So I reached this point where I was almost like everyone that I will look at, I'll be the outlier. I'll be the old man out everywhere because I'm this guy who is studying on a student's loan, government student's loan, and I have to find ways to, take care of myself. Though they don't give us everything that we really need. Other maybe for academic purposes, they just pay school funds. Okay, school dues, maybe school fees that we are supposed to pay in school, and then maybe what else? Clear functional fees and a few things. But there are things of daily living you're supposed to cater for your own self. So I reached a point where I was seeing almost like everyone around me had money, and so I started to find out how they really make this money, right? How? Then ask myself again, why me in particular? Why don't I really have money? And then, what am I doing wrong quite often? So after asking myself how they're really doing it, why are they really having money, and then me, I'm not having, and then what are they doing much more better than me that maybe I could be missing out? Of course, despite maybe those that really had money, we still had those that came in without money completely, just like me. They was just starting up, and then they did something, and they were involved in a lot of ventures. Of course, most of them honestly were not able to tell me what they and where they were making that money from, but I just assumed maybe they were working somewhere and then they got money, or they were doing a side hustle against maybe alongside the medical course, or something really came up and then they had this amount of money, not necessarily maybe from being rich, from a wealthy family, from a well-off family and all that things. So after answering a lot of questions about this, like after realizing the how, I just approached a friend and then I told them about like my intentions. I want to also have money. I want to be financially independent. Still, even while in medical school, like at least not so much in a vulnerable state where this guy who is always lacking, who is always in that state, and then blaming everyone, blaming my parents, blaming what, blaming, playing blame games, right? I just wanted to find a solution to it. And so they taught me a lot of things, and I realized I had to learn more about money. And that's when I started to learn to have a few sessions in personal finance, online. And also, okay, I started by watching a few videos about money and business, on YouTube, yeah, because it's the platform that I really enjoy using most of the times. And I realized it's really fun and it's what I really enjoy on a daily basis. So I had to just continue with that thing. And it gave me some proper insight about money. That's when now the books about money really came in due to the recommendations. Of course, maybe you're watching a video by Nisha, a creator on finance, self-development, and then business. And so maybe you landed on a video like that. And so they tell you something about money, and maybe they even tell you the books that they read that made them rich and all the things. So that's how now the book perspective came in for me. And I got the how I can honestly get the money. Then why others really have it, and then why I don't really have that money is maybe I still like got a lot of things. And this one is a okay, I attributed it to for after reading the Psychology of Money book by Morgan Housel. I realized there's there are a lot of things that really determine this. The what and the most significant factor was the luck and risk. In that book, I think it's in the first or second chapter of the book. So luck and risk are just like the same things, though they're completely, can I say, one is dependent on the other, and if you don't do the other, you're most likely not to get the other. Maybe if at all you're not to be lucky, you have to risk something somehow, somewhere. You have to be in a particular point or in the right place and maybe at the right time. That's a risk already because you're not supposed maybe okay honestly maybe you just moved out and then you were there something else would have happened to you or you would have lost your money just by being in a particular place, the right place and the right time. And so that's how you get lucky. If at all your risk doesn't turn out to be so bad, this is how other people really get money because they risk something and then they became lucky that they're being recommended, maybe just like this YouTube channel, and then you decide that, oh, I'll be recommending it to my friends, and maybe this video, I recommend it, and you share it with your friends, and maybe you even subscribe. Yeah, I would have gotten lucky, right? Yeah, then I went on to the what I'm really doing wrong, and I realized I had some weird money habits that I really need to correct. And that's how I started journaling my journey towards success, where I note down on a daily basis where and how I'm spending my money, right? So where my money is going and whatever that so that I can correct up the mistakes and things that I'm really doing. That's how I got to buy this, right? So here inside, I just record and note down how I'm spending my money, like a lot of things, even about including my health. But here, since it's a financial channel, I just look at the financial habits and a few things related to that. So yeah, this has really helped me a lot. And in addition to the financial, other financial books and other things, I think this has really worked for me much more best than any other financial book. I feel like a Holy Bible or a Holy Quran, depending on your religion, is the best book ever someone would read about money and about success, about business, about everything. Because for it has almost everything, right? Yeah, I'm not being an evangelist, but I'm just telling the truth, and that's the truth and truth alone. So this is exactly how I was really forced to learn about money, even if it wasn't my primary intention. My primary intention was to learn about medicine, to learn about taking care of people and saving lives. That was necessarily the primary goal, but I ended up learning lots and lots about money that maybe if at all I went or did another course I don't know whether I would have learned about money this way. Maybe I would have gone to a public university somewhere, or I would have been into, the most comfortable kid around school, and maybe I don't know whatever would have happened. But I thank God, and I'm really grateful for being in medical school, so that I got to know all that I know about money in that way. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching to this point in this video, and I love you. I know by the time you watch up this time, that means you crave this video. So don't forget to give it a like, yeah, and then subscribe if you're a new member here. And see you in the next videos. Bye.